Greetings. I'm your host, Tony Melchizedek. I want to talk to you this evening. As you can tell, it's dark outside. If I have one scripture to share with you, it would be, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. So you may have guessed that I'm here to promote the email address boycottviolence@aol.com pertaining to this subject. That's one form of contact. boycottviolence@aol.com. Boycott violence is spelled BOYCOTTVIOLENCE. No separation between the words. All one word, boycottviolence@aol.com. So, I'm just across the street from Philadelphia, just across the city-county line. Anyway, here we are. I want to promote a theme title that the Lord gave me back in for an event that we sponsored that took place. A few churches got together and united, and we had a few anti-violence groups. From the top of my head, the only group that I recall was Mothers in Charge. I can't remember. There may have been MADD, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. I'm not sure. Because death by a drunk driver is a violent death. Anyway, we're boycotting violence. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Folks, you can look that up in what we call the Beatitudes in the New Testament of the Bible, Jesus Christ speaking. So what's our point? Love conquers violence. This is a theme title which has gone unheeded, given by God. The only thing that has happened in the avoidance of this title and slogan, and folks have used derivatives of it to promote their agendas. But this love conquers violence is something for the city of Philadelphia to pick up on. There are too many murders taking place in the city of brotherly love. You see, it's the city of brotherly love. What we want to tell the world, not just our southeastern Pennsylvania area, not just the Pennsylvania area, not just the United States, North America, but the whole world. Not just the Western Hemisphere, but the whole world. We have to get this message out that love conquers violence. Now, there will be some folks that will say, oh yeah, love conquers all. No, that's not what we're saying. We're not saying love conquers all, because love does not conquer God. Our interest is against the negativity of violence that brings about death, that brings about disunity, disharmony, problems in the community. Love conquers violence. So Philadelphia, at one point in their advertisements, you see, they abandoned the use of the statue down in the Dilworth Plaza at 15th and JFK Boulevard. The love symbol, the love letters, the 4 letters, 2 on top of 2, and with the O at a diagonal, pointing outward to, let's say, a 45-degree angle, so to speak. Now, what is our goal? What are we reminding Philadelphia about? You see, when they abandoned that and they started using in their literature some other stuff, XO, XO, XO. Now look, if you have to begin to ask somebody, what is XO, XO? I did not know. So that's enough right there. I know if I did not know. Just because I'm retarded, I know that there's plenty of people otherwise who did not know also. How about that? XOXO, what is that supposed to mean? What is it supposed to mean? Hugs and kisses? Loves, hugs, and kisses. But it does not say love. Philadelphia is the city of brotherly love by name. We were blessed with that love statue, I'll call it, because it's too big for a medallion, but it's a landmark. It is a landmark. We're blessed with that love landmark. Now, Philadelphia itself is supposed to be a landmark, marking love in a metropolitan area. We can do it, folks. It can be done. I'm just going to give you an example, just as an illustration, and there's more that can be added to it. But I just want to quicken or spark or bring alive your thinking to see. And I'm asking that, let me, today, somebody sent me something on Facebook, not on Facebook, on the Messenger service. And the message said, help, let's make this go viral. It was so cute, I just had to post it. Well, basically, my response was that I don't have time for that. Making something go viral is too significant of an effort. The efforts put into it just to make something go viral because it's cute, we got people dying. So in the message I said, when our attempt is to make something go viral from the beginning, our efforts need to be concentrated on the significance of the matter. It should be something of value, something of that is significant, and something that is serious, that can help. It should be something vital. One of the key words I used, vital, serious. You see, that's a waste of time and effort. And, you know, they say time is money. So I wrote in there that this is a waste of resource. God has given us energy for what? Just let's make thousands of people get this because it is cute? No. If they do it, fine. But if you have to tell them, let's do this, no. Public, please do not give in to that. I'll tell you something else. Somebody sent me a video clip that only lasted about 3 seconds, maybe 2.5. It was a young child. I could not really tell. Did not pay attention to the child, whether it was a boy or a girl, kicking a stuffed doll, while in the background there was some whining, crying of a young child. And so as he kicked it, it could be seen that this is a lifeless dummy or doll. Because, for one example, unless the child had on a cast so that the arm was stuck out permanently, a shoulder cast and body cast so that the arm is out to the side. When he kicked the doll, I'm insisting on calling it a doll. Someone will have to show me otherwise. Anyway, the message said it had the name of a religious deity in it that I will not promote. And I wrote back and I told the person that's supposed to be a Christian. That religious deity name, in my opinion, it is not the name of Creator God unless there's some clarifications added to it as explanations. You see, anyway, he kicked it a couple of times, kicked it once, and then picked it up and yanked it. And when it landed, the arm was still out to the side like that. And when it landed on its side, the arm was up in the air like so. Now, I wrote back and told him, see, this is what I have been writing on Facebook, telling people about this type amen and share, and how the devil is playing on emotions, especially Christian people, humanitarian thinkers, and Christian. When people feel that they're obligated, I got to do something. I can't just let that go. Can't let that continue. Yeah. A couple years back, I opened a video clip that showed somebody in the subway tracks. I don't know what city it was, but showed somebody walking. It looked like a person walking along the tracks up against the station platform, and the train was coming. And then the train came and just hit what was supposed to be or looked like a person. And itself, in that video clip also, though it was tragic to see, and I watched it several times, and I could not prove, but from the look of it, it also was some kind of doll, man-sized doll, adult height, and when the train came, the person became smashed in between the train and the cement edge of the platform, and so that all you saw was the torso twisting about 3 times the top part of the person, and so it would have been that, their body, the bottom half, their body got cut in half. That was the appearance. Now, I tell you, what more can I say about that? I had to resolve in my mind that situation was a hoax, a fake. And I'm saying, Facebook people, I don't know what's happening on Twitter. I don't have that. And since the election a few months ago, I'm not getting on Twitter. At least I don't foresee a need to do so. But that person's body or that doll's body left the top half spun and like in a circle 3 times or so, it looked like, and just kind of flopped down onto the platform. I think it flopped down, but the train, I can't remember if the train kept going or if the train stopped and the person's top half or the doll's top half of the body was there halfway leaning over onto the platform. I cannot remember. As I said, it seems like it was about 2 years ago now. But I'm telling you, public, the devil has all kinds of tricks like this out there as distractions. He'll put you on a guilt trip to make you feel guilty that if you do not say something, then you're at fault, you're wrong. You see, we've got to learn how to discern, how to distinguish when something, oh, you did not grow up watching The Outer Limits or The Twilight Zone or Mission Impossible. Oh, so you don't know about certain tricks that can be played with cameras, video photography. Okay. Well, did you think that Star Wars was actually fought in outer space? For real, for real? Well, okay. Do I have your attention now, public? So, the devil, Satan, is out to make human beings waste their God-given abilities, God-given gifts, time, energy, positive opportunities for positive emotions and positive thinking in your life. He seeks to cause depression on all. Anyway, let me get back to where I started at. Boycott violence at AOL.com. You see? I know I got kind of far off, but I had to get that in there. So you will, and you need to. You better forgive me. Thank you. Okay. Peacemakers equal God's children. Another theme that I have had through the years. No drugs. No guns. Yes, Jesus. You see, I want it to be known if police officers stop my car to come to the driver's side, first thing that you ought to be seeing, this white sheet with black background, this black letters on a white background, it's going to be seen, because if you're coming at night and it's in a dark place, I expect that you're going to be shining your flashlights. So you will see this. And if you're really doing a security check, you will be trying to see in the back seat, is there anybody back there? So you will see these signs. You will see in the back window big letters, large enough for 8.5 by 11 sheets. JESUS. So then, there will be no need trying to frame me, drivers of this car, unless I've reported it as stolen somehow. No, it's not going to be. But peradventure, if it were, when you see all this communication, there's no excuse. You're not going to get away with saying, oh, I thought he was pulling this or pulling that. He already told you from the beginning, I don't have any drugs, I don't have any guns. I'm saying yes to Jesus for more than 38 years of sobriety and walking in the Lord and in His Word. So then, what will be the excuse? So anti-violence means we want anti-violence within the police departments also. You see, we're tired of innocent appearing people being killed. So many of us, we're not there, and we have like police dash cams. And one state, I heard the governor submitted a bill to be approved, so that the people, when they request that the law enforcement departments do not have to submit video footage of the dash cam and the body cam. Now, what kind of malarkey, junk, punk, junk, thing is that? You see? Oh, man. Truth can't afford to be fair. You see, because even if the dash cam on something that I saw recently, it showed that the police officer came up to the window. You could not see what was happening inside. That's possibly a part of the idea. Whether he was, I think he leaned over into the vehicle after having shot the driver. Well, if I have to lean over into the vehicle after I have shot a couple of times into the person, what a great opportunity that if I'm carrying a throwdown pistol, as so many police TV shows have talked about, if I've got one, I can put it in there and squeeze it in the hands of the victim of my shots and get his or her fingerprints on it. Yes. So then, I don't know what to tell you at this point as I think about that, but I'm here communicating for Love Conquers Violence. Love Conquers Violence. The XOXOXO that they started putting on the visitors page and stuff dealing with visitor advertisement. That's not addressing issues that's slowing down the tourists. S on the end of that word, yeah. The tourist population, the visitors that come, they want to be able to feel safe. So we really need to be working on this anti-violence situation. Now, what I'm suggesting then is whatever is your group, you see, each group is out there and established. They're receiving some kind of funds from the government, multiple levels possibly, maybe even probably. But they do not want to link up one with another under the one large umbrella. So, but what I'm saying is, take my theme. Love conquers violence. Philadelphia is love. Let's bring it back. Let's bring back the love that is supposed to be in this city of brotherly love. Let's bring it back. Okay, some things that we're going to need to do within the communities. Okay, I said I was just going to give you a couple of ideas. All right, we can have some. You might not like this word, but let's use the word seminars, meetings. We could have some meetings where we deal with conflict resolution, teach people about self-esteem, teach them about dealing with depressions, self-esteem, conflict resolutions, how to avoid conflict avoidance. Okay, we got people on the city staff that are collecting salaries. I know. Don't we? Don't we have psychologists, doctors of psychology? Don't we have psychiatrists on city staff somewhere? Okay. They can work on spearheading and organizing different things under their area of specialty. Behavioral scientists, aren't they all under that large, broad category? Behavioral scientists. You see, the behavior is what's going on wrong here. So maybe let's work on the thinking. If we can effect a change in the person's thinking, you can effect a change in the person. The thoughts, that's part of the person. One book, the book of James in the Bible, it tells us about, what is that word? Well, it tells us that about lust, craving for something, coveting something someone else has, something that's not yours, or doing a deed that God never intended for you to do, such as murder, burglary, striking, larceny, etc. Larceny, for those that don't know. Am I correct? That's fire, setting fires, right? Pyromania. Anyway, we can fix this. Some say going all the way back into the Kennedy days as president, back there somewhere in the 60s, or maybe it's in the Johnson days. But anyway, they say that the mental hospitals began closing down or something to that effect. Here in the Philadelphia area, we had one called Byberry. I don't know what's happening up there now, but Byberry was known as the crazy institution. Well, I'm telling you, things are crazy now. People use that word crazy in multiple ways. They don't only mean that a person is imbalanced or thrown off psychologically, mentally, but they use that to mean excitingly good, happiness bringing, and at an event. Oh man, it was crazy, man. It was okay. You should have been there. Well, crazy? We need to bring some sanity back into Philadelphia. We need to stop the killing, stop the violence. It can work. We can do it. Now, let me give you some ideas what the city will have to do. City of Philadelphia will have to be able to sponsor some advertisements, radio and television, about this event. Let's say we're going to boycott violence for a month. We'll pick a month. While this summer is coming to a close, originally the idea that I had was April, May, or June. 30 days in June, because when July comes, in the heat of the summer, when people just really go crazy with violent heat stroke behavior. I'll put it like that. I don't really mean necessarily strokes, but the heat seems to attack the brain, and they just seem like, I won't be settled until I kill something. I won't be settled until I hurt somebody. Oh, I gotta get him. Well, we need to be working on such things even starting now, so that this time next year, when we hit the middle of July, we'll be able to say, happy days are here again. Something like that. In case you don't want me to say, hallelujah, praise the Lord. Oh, there you go. I said it anyway. Now, so here's part of the idea also. The city can make an organizing team, but we're going to have somebody's going to be watching over any kind of financial distributions that there will need to be, because our city has manifested corruption in the last many years dealing with finances. Do I have to name any? I don't know what the status is right now, but there have been times we heard about traffic court needed to be revamped somehow. I did not follow the details, but look, if somebody at the traffic court does not like what I'm saying, contact me. Put some efforts in helping us in this area. Set aside a part of your budget to help bring about peace. Maybe people will stop speeding through the streets and they won't have to get tickets, or speeding through the streets hit and run because people are just going wild and feel they just got to do something different. And so often it turns out to be something violent. We need assertiveness training so that people can know that they can assert themselves without being aggressive. You can stand up for your rights. You can express your rights. Remember, Martin Luther King had this idea that he said he got from Gandhi. I'm not sure of the first name pronunciation. Mahatma Gandhi, something Gandhi. Anyway, nonviolence. We can work on that, folks. We can bring that about. Money that we're spending and that is going to all these different programs, whatever their names may be. The one that I have seen most recently, I can't even remember the name right now, because I was disappointed when I called the young lady that spoke with me. She sounded like she was young. But basically what the idea was that each organization has their special spin on it to what they're doing. But nobody is... Let's take an idea from SEPTA. You see, SEPTA, Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority. So you want a local bus company, bus routes and charter in your community, or, you know, when they came about, it used to be PTC and Red Arrow and maybe some other companies I don't remember. But the idea is that SEPTA is like overseeing board over so much dealing with transportation in this southeastern Pennsylvania area. So then that's what we need here in Philadelphia. We need a division, a board, a company. I don't have the precise word yet. But we need a governing body. It's trying to come to me, because we need a coalition. You get the idea. There's one other word, but we need unification, so that citywide. You see, we need citywide effort. That's what I try to promote. The idea, the word citywide was actually usurped, taken when I submitted a proposal back in 2010 or 2009. I submitted a proposal to an interdenominational church group, and they changed their name from what it was. They had some kind of crusade for peace, interdenominationally, and they changed their name, and then they went from, they were interdenominationally a crusade for peace. Now they're a interdenominationally citywide crusade for peace. And yet, what's been happening? Have you heard about them? Have you seen any of the progress? What have they done citywide? So what if we meet every fourth Friday and call it Fresh Fire on Friday or something like that, where we're gonna, certain churches come out into the streets, onto the corners near your church and pray for the city. In addition to prayer, I'm reminded of an illustration. All I can remember about it is the rhyming part. So there was somebody in the wilderness who was so used to things and praying in prayer meeting. But he was with, let's say, with the pastor, and here came a bear, and he said, "Hey, this ain't about prayer meeting. This is a bear meeting, B-E-A-R. We got to get out of here." I'm telling you, the city stuff is just so bad. People are willing to say, we got to get out of here, but I don't have the money. So listen, what we need to do, we need to change Philadelphia. We need to make Philadelphia a city of brotherly love, because love conquers violence. So Philadelphia, you are love, right? It's in your name. Now, Philadelphia, we need you to conquer violence. Let's get together. So, in a nutshell, I'll give you how I just had as an illustration. Let's say we have, I'm going to use churches, but there could be different religious houses of worship. There could be a mosque. There could be the Buddhist temple. There could be different groups, Jewish temple, different groups. Okay, different bodies of worship. Now, they are scattered all throughout the city, and none want to see this violence continue. Therefore, I got a proposal. If I could just get started, if you could just show me 10 congregations that will be willing to take 3 days. Now, we're going to have to cover every day of a month for 30 days on a rotating basis. Now, just imagine if we had all the areas, the zip codes covered, so that people could walk to these locations and hear these wonderful words of readjustment in society. You know, the prison system is supposed to be about rehabilitation, but let me tell you, people on the street need rehabilitation. Okay? People on the street also need re-entry training back into a peaceful society. So let's get that done. So now, if in every zip code, if we could have every day, not just in the zip code, but locally within the zip codes, because our postal zip codes are vast in size. You don't really want to be walking the full length of a zip code to get to a meeting, and you might not want to spend the money on SEPTA, and then that might even be an additional way somehow to get something together for people to travel. Something can be worked out. But what we want to do is that we want people to be able to, as much as possible, walk to a place. Now, let's say in the churches, your congregation, you're going to have, some meet on Saturday, some meet on Sunday, most have meetings on Wednesday. So what I'm saying, for this month, that month, whichever is the boycott violence month, we want to have at least a session on boycott violence, a minimum of 5 minutes. Now, I'm not talking about 5 minutes where a lot of talk is given to honoring this person and that person, and we don't need that. We don't need, if it's going to be a minimum of 5 minutes, we don't need, if that's all that's allotted is a 5-minute time, we don't need any introduction except to say that this person is so-and-so, and he's the pastor here, or the psychologist over there, or he is administrator in this organization dealing with finances and want to talk to you about budgeting and saving funds and things like that. If it's only going to be 5 minutes, we don't have any time for introduction, cannot be counted in the 5 minutes. A minimum of 5 minutes of material, educational material, to be shared with the community. Now, I know I've been taking a long time. You all know, people in my class, they know that I could get long-winded. Excuse me, forgive me. But I think you get the gist of the idea. If we do this, now the scheduling goes like this. If you regularly meet on Wednesday and Sunday, or Wednesday and Saturday, or I don't know when they meet at the mosque. I think it's on Fridays. And I don't know if there's a midweek day or not. But in addition to your regular times, I'm asking that the congregations, whatever your faith may be, that you could set aside some time to concentrate on these efforts during this month. Now, I'm not saying during this month, the month of July 2017, because I'd like to see some organization take place first so that we can say this month is Boycott Violence Month. I want people to be walking the street talking about boycott violence. You see, we have people walking the streets talking about the president now, and that's during any any presidential term, not just the 45th president, but the 44th, 43rd, all the way down to John Kennedy, and even before. So, as people talk in general, some people, I've been 38 plus years sober, but I know that in the bars where they serve alcohol, people talk on all different kinds of subjects. We want the TV commercials and everything to be so bombarded with the theme, love conquers violence, boycott violence. And so we can do that, folks. We can do that right here in Philadelphia. As I said, somebody sent to me, I suppose they are not realizing the value of the effort of what they were requesting. Help this go viral. They did not say anything. All they said about it, about the content, it was so cute I had to share it. That doesn't mean anything to me, because if it's so cute and if it's worth sharing, when a person sees it, they will share it. If it is valid enough, vital enough, serious enough, they will share it. You don't have to tell them. You don't have to give them a hypnotic command. Share this. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. The great and powerful Oz has spoken. So, anyway, folks, you got the gist of what I'm saying. Now, somebody out there knows somebody who can get to the mayor, who can get to the cabinet, the city council. Somebody out there, look, sister lady, I can't even recall your name at the moment, but I worked with you on an event during the summer using my van, and with the sign on the side that said boycott violence 30 days. Now, I've had this email address, and here it is: boycott_violence@AOL.com. All one word, boycott violence, and no spaces in between. And for the @ you use the @ symbol, the A with the circle around it. Yes. Now you got it. Boycott violence at AOL.com. Oh, I don't want to stop talking, but I guess I've said it all. This thing is really a burden to me, and it has been for years. And I hope that it's a burden, or becoming a burden in the minds of you all, the listeners, so that something shall be done to effect, to bring about this program that I'm suggesting. A theme that is already in existence. I rode around with this banner on the side of my van for maybe about, I had it on 2 vans, as a matter of fact. But most of the time on my white van, and I had it on there for, let's say, 3 years, up and down the highways. When it got too shabby that it was shameful, I had to take it down. But I was so used to having a banner to convey an idea, and then I was led to put up the theme that you've been trying to get going. Boycott violence, 30 days. Okay. And now you know what the email address is: boycottviolence@AOL.com. What more then can I say? No drugs, no guns, yes Jesus, and peacemakers equal God's children. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God, Jesus said in his beatitude. Now, this effort that I'm talking about, I want you to understand, this is not anything contrary or exclusive for Christian churches. I want the Jehovah's Witnesses group to pick up the baton and the banner and get on board with this idea also. Don't think of yourself as so heavenly, goodly minded that you cannot be of any good to help save lives. I'm not asking anybody in your group to get blood transfusions. I'm asking you to save blood so that it is not shed. Eastern religions, whatever it may be, Buddhists, you say you're about love, love, love. We need your help also. You can reach me at boycottviolence@AOL.com. My name is Tony Melchizedek. I'm on Facebook. Look for my baby picture. My name is spelled the Old Testament Bible spelling for Melchizedek. It's 11 letters, yes. So, all capital letters is what I use. TonyMelchizedek. Tony Melchizedek. Not a CH, ch, as in church or challenge, but CH as in Christ, character. Okay? But the pronunciation, if you're using, you may have to spell it out, because I had to train my smartphone. I may have even had to type it in, because it usually comes out, if I say Tony Melchizedek, if I don't hold the Z, it comes out and say, milk is a deck. That doesn't make sense, does it? A deck of cards, a deck porch on the side of your house. So the point I'm getting at is, I'm lingering. Folks, you got to get on this bandwagon, because love conquers violence. Philadelphia, you cannot just sit around and let your natives kill each other. You cannot just sit around and let your citizens kill each other. Philadelphia. And Philadelphia, you cannot just sit around and let people passing through kill each other. All of this killing must stop. We can fix this, but we have to begin somewhere. And I'm saying, send your information of your organization into boycottviolence@aol.com. Now, I love you. Philadelphia loves you, but Philadelphia is dying. We need to revive, reform. We need to return to the primitive love that Philadelphia had in the beginning when we were assigned this name. You see, Philadelphia is the birthplace of this nation. Yes, it is. It is. Yes, it is. And we got to save our nation. Let's save our city to start with. Let's set an example for the world. Philadelphia, love. Philadelphia's love conquers violence. Let's make it to be real. It is real. Now let's make it to be manifested. Let's make it to be realized. It's real. I see it. I can see it. Can you see it? Not yet? Well, maybe if you were to help work on it, you could see it. Okay, then. Philadelphia, we don't need a bunch of XOXOXO, because people don't know how to translate that from, into Chinese, because XOXOXO, that's not a word. Love is a word that they can all look up. Look, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, the love chapter, it is called. Love conquers violence. I guess I've said enough. The security has driven by a few, maybe even several times. So, love conquers violence. We want you to contact us at boycottviolence@aol.com. Boycott Violence, BOYCOTTVIOLENCE. boycottviolence@aol.com. This is what we need you to do for Philadelphia's sake. And it'll work out. Listen, all these years of avoiding it what has happened. Crime has been on the increase. Death toll has been on the increase. So then, boycott violence at AOL.com, because love conquers violence. Increase the tourism rate. Let the people in the world, worldwide, know that Philadelphia is love. Love conquers violence.